Have you ever imagined what it'd be like to be on the top of everyone's watch list as the next best in the world? Well, these guys are actually living that dream. These are the best footballers in the 2024 season under 21. Connor Bradley, Liverpool. And who better to start with than the guy who broke through despite having someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold to compete with? Liverpool's fullbacks have to do more than just defend. Trent's been in charge of providing the delivery into the box for years. So when he got injured this season, 19-year-old Connor Bradley was given a shot. And boy, did he make it count. Remember those childhood games where you'd pick the smallest kid and stick them right back because they couldn't cause any trouble? Yeah, that strategy wouldn't fly against Connor Bradley. This guy had one mission from the moment he stepped onto the pitch, and he did so well. Liverpool fans want to push Trent into midfield to make room for their new right back. He may not be the biggest defender, but Bradley makes up for it with an engine that never quits. Rasmus Højlund, Manchester United. But he wasn't as big of a surprise as how quickly Rasmus Højlund burst onto the scene. When Manchester United signed the Danish kid whose name sounded pretty similar to Manchester City's Haaland, people immediately started comparing them. But the truth is, comparing any young striker to Haaland is kinda unfair. Højlund didn't exactly get off to an amazing start at Manchester United, but he ended the season pretty well, and that's all he could have asked for going into the next season. For a 20-year-old youngster, the morale going into next season is much more important than the numbers they put up in the previous year. He knows he could do better, and he knows the way to do that is by working hard every day. And that's exactly what Ten Hag saw in him when he brought him in. Oscar Bob, Manchester City. Speaking of bald managers bringing in youngsters, remember those quiet kids in school who surprised everyone by acing the pop quiz? Oscar Bob is the footballing equivalent. This 20-year-old Norwegian star's been quietly pulling the strings for Manchester City's midfield, leaving opponents scratching their heads and teammates in awe. The only evidence we need to prove his brilliance is that Pep Guardiola chose to bring him into an already complete squad. What greater honor is there than to be chosen by the best manager in the world? Very few players suit Pep's take the ball, pass the ball style, but Oscar Bob is definitely one of Pep's future assets. Gavi, Barcelona. But he's not as good as this next guy. Meet Gavi, the 18-year-old midfielder who takes you back to the Iniesta-Xavi era of Barcelona's midfield. This Spanish wonderkid plays with an intensity that belies his age, constantly hounding opponents and driving his team forward with relentless energy. Gavi might not be the most polished player, but his heart, passion, and raw talent are undeniable. This new addition to the squad has given Barca fans hope for the future. And who knows, we might be looking at the rebirth of Barcelona considering some of the other players we have on this list. Pedri, Barcelona, including this next guy. Gavi might be excellent, but his partner in crime is even more amazing. Pedri's also a youngster in the Barcelona midfield and has come through the ranks playing alongside Gavi. Remember that feeling of being completely in control while playing a video game? While Gavi's the one to chase things down and keep the tempo high, Pedri's the one who controls things. He blew everyone away in the 2020-21 season when he featured in 75 games throughout the season. This was a mind-blowing number, especially for a 19-year-old. Unlike some flashy playmakers, Pedri doesn't rely on stepovers or audacious flicks. His magic lies in his exceptional vision, pinpoint passing, and uncanny ability to find pockets of space no one else seems to see. Pedri and Gavi can truly usher in a new era of Barcelona dominance, but for them to be able to do that, they need to be allowed to develop properly. Destiny Udogie, Tottenham Hotspurs. Those guys came from the academy, but this next player might be one of the best young signings of the season. This 18-year-old English attacker's taken the Premier League by storm with his electrifying pace and an eye for goal that even seasoned strikers would envy. Udogie is everything Spurs hoped for when they signed him and more. He's not just about beating defenders with fancy footwork, although he's certainly capable of that. Some might call him raw, but with his combination of talent and fearless confidence, the sky's the limit for this young prodigy. Again, it all depends on how well the Spurs management can take care of his development, because the talent is certainly there. Let's wait and see with this one though, because this isn't the first time we're seeing a Tottenham player play like a legend and still never win a trophy. Xavi Simons, RB Leipzig. This next guy though has been on the list of ones to watch once before. Remember that childhood prodigy who could seemingly do it all on the pitch? Xavi Simons is living proof that those talents blossom into real stars. If he's 21 on this list, imagine how young he was when he first made the news. This 21-year-old Dutch magician on loan at RB Leipzig has a bag of tricks that would leave even seasoned professionals speechless. Simons isn't afraid to take risks. Whether it's scoring wonder goals from a distance or threading a needle-perfect pass to split a defense, Simons makes the difficult look effortless. He might not have household name recognition yet, but with his dazzling skill set and ever-growing confidence, Xavi Simons is a name you'll want to remember. Simons definitely has a bright future, but not as bright as this next kid. Endrick, Real Madrid. Talk about being destined for greatness. Endrick's being called the future of Real Madrid. This Brazilian sensation recently signed for Real Madrid after tearing up the Brazilian league with his blistering pace, jaw-dropping skills, and a knack for scoring goals that defies his age. He's so young, there's no way he has a lot of experience. But Endrick isn't just about raw talent though. Defenders twice his size are left bewildered by his agility, while goalkeepers can only watch and pray. He may be just starting his professional career, but Endrick already plays with the confidence of a seasoned veteran. Really, it's scary to see how mature he is with his game despite his young age. Seeing a 16-year-old dominate like this is rare, but he hasn't been called the next Messi like this next boy. Lamine Yamal, Barcelona. We've heard this before, but this time, things look very, very interesting. Remember how it felt to see Messi set the field on fire alongside legends like Ronaldinho and co? Lamine Yamal is probably used to that feeling now because he's been taking Barcelona from losses already. This 20-year-old Senegalese rock at the back for Barcelona has become a nightmare for even the most seasoned attackers. A product of La Masia, Yamal's being dubbed the next Messi, and they might be right this time. They need to be careful with him though. Messi was protected perfectly at the beginning of his career. They didn't let any pressure get to him and made sure he was at 100% before throwing him onto the pitch. That's probably the difference between Messi and Yamal. Unlike Messi, the team already depends on Yamal. That's a pretty big responsibility for a 16-year-old. Jude Bellingham, Real Madrid. But this next player definitely has no problems with responsibility. Jude Bellingham's only 20 and has already had a pretty crazy career. At Birmingham City, he was so outrageously good, they retired his kit number. Yeah, the number 22 is now unavailable at the club because Birmingham was just that good. And then at Dortmund, he helped the club come so close to the Bundesliga. They slipped up at the final hurdle, but the run was amazing. And now, he's won the Champions League with Real Madrid. It's like this guy's the main character of his own movie, and we're just the background characters. And other than the trophies, he's also played remarkably well. He matched Ronaldo's Real Madrid debut numbers. And that too from midfield. No wonder he won the La Liga Player of the Year. Usually when youngsters impress this much, we're bound to see some action in the transfer market. But these players are already at some of the best clubs in the world. Let's wait and see if any of these guys are gonna move this summer. In the meantime, why not watch this video on your screen? It's another banger.